In 1956, 4 women, Dorothy Gifford, Helen Wilkinson, Alice Danhauser, and Ethel Gifford, got together and made whatever they wanted and talked as friends will. And they decided, let's start a group so we can encourage people to join us. And they decided they would have a show. So they quickly found 9 other friends willing to go along. They signed a charter. Between April and July of that year, the town agreed to loan them a 2-room wooden schoolhouse for the show. People brought flowers from their garden, textiles from their homes to cover the tables, and they set up this show, labeled everything very carefully, and held a breath. And when the doors opened, and only opened for 3 days, they had 1,000 people come and visit. So they felt it was a great success because they had found other people in Westport making art, and they had also shown the community all the things that people were making. And that year they did a few other things besides the first community show. They took some money to buy a kiln for the high school, and they raised the money to give a scholarship the next year to a graduating high school student. They started to hold meetings in their homes where you could come and hear a speaker. They had sold some work. They started to think of maybe they could display it. One of the long traditions of this group is plein air painting. Members leave the studio, leave the classroom here, and go out. So they might go down to the town docks, backyard gardens, open fields with wildflowers, or go to the beach. The community would see us. People would come and look at the painting. What are you painting? Can I look over your shoulder? I think probably drew them into the shows as well. And at one point, the group noticed that sort of interaction and the pleasure of it and started a series that went on for a number of years called Artists in the Garden. We would announce it ahead of time, select several gardens around town that were looking lovely that week, divide up the artists, so there were some artists in each one of the gardens. You would get a map, and you could go around and visit them. You could buy the paintings at the end of the day. So in the 70s, what came to a head was that we needed space. There was nowhere to store anything. The paperwork was all over the place, and we didn't have a meeting place, and we were getting too big. Betty Yeomans generously donated to the art group the land that the current building sits on. Dennis Broadbent told the president, Dorothy Gifford, that he knew of a house, a cottage that was available if you moved it, and she found a farmer who was able to haul it up here one quiet Sunday on his tractor and drop it down on the property. A group was put together to design and raise money to build a building on the property. A plan was drawn up. What can we do with what we have and maybe raising just a little more? That went out on a ballot, and the members overwhelmingly voted for it. And so that spring, a well was dug, septic system was put in, and a multi-purpose room was built, which is now the North Gallery, and a connection between the multi-purpose room and the old cottage, which is a lobby, which is where the Periwinkle shop is now. People were delighted. We have a home. A little later, much needed storage space was added on the back. Finally, about 10 years ago, quite a bit of money had been saved and raised, and the South Gallery was built, and everything was fixed up. Now we have a home where all the things that the founders wanted to do and we want to do, we can now do. The art group has been fortunate over the years to attract very accomplished teachers and very accomplished painters who were willing to teach or try their hand at teaching for our members. Here we have Herb Hadfield, and it's encouraging you to come to this show, the very first show in 1956. And here we have the painting, which hung in the first show in 1956, and now it's hanging here in our 70th anniversary show. And here we have another piece of work by Herb Hadfield, and it is a whale tooth. It's carved to be a porpoise. Now, we have many members who were members and painters and exhibited in shows literally for decades. People became more and more accomplished during their years of membership. And one of them is Ruth Edwards. We have 2 things. One is a lovely watercolor that she did, displays a number of very sophisticated techniques, and another is a book, Turtle Rock Tales, that was written locally and that she did all the illustrations for.
T. Lux Feininger was one of the well-known artists who exhibited at every annual community show. We have 2 of his paintings in this show. He has a very distinctive personal style, which he explained as striving for authenticity, focusing on proportion, and eliminating perspective.
Sarah Desjardins became quite an accomplished watercolorist, painted whenever she could sneak away from the post office where she worked during the day. At one point, Sarah went out and she did black and white postcards of the church, the harbor, houses, and different places in Westport, and had them printed up. And they're actually still for sale in gift shops around town. When the bicentennial happened, one of our longest running members, Ted Mead, who was a photographer and a painter, he put together with a local publisher a book of photographs. He did photograph the area, but he photographed people in the community. And that we have that book here, and it's on a table to look at. And right above that book, we have displayed a lovely, humorous little drawing for children of the alphabet, done with all these contorting cats. And that was done by Ted Mead's son, Gimbal Mead, who started showing in the art group show when he was 14 and went on to be an illustrator, New Yorker magazine, Esquire, and other for years. So this is a painting by Dora Milliken. She moved to town and she just happened to move across the street from Dorothy Gifford Curtis, who was at several times in our history president and a great supporter. And Dorothy encouraged her to join the art group and ultimately to return to painting. Some of the things that came out of the art group weren't art group projects, but they were done by members. We have an example in the show of a painting that was the cover of the local telephone book. And one of them that's really kind of now a great keepsake was in the mid-1970s, a group on the Point decided to make a cookbook of local recipes. And most of those women and many of the contributors were members of the art group. And so we ended up with a cookbook, I think it's more than an inch thick, that has recipes and humorous descriptions of local recipes and also drawings. Almost every page has a sketch. As we were approaching the 70th anniversary, the board said, well, we have to do something special. When we thought about it, we said, well, let's see if we can do an art show with art from the past 70 years.
I really love this show. I really love it because over the decades, how not only the Westport Art Group has progressed, but as the town of Westport has progressed too, and we've become a real artist community, it certainly brings it out in here. This is leaving a real legacy, not just the exhibit, but talking about artists who have gone, but yet have beautiful, artistic, creative artwork that they've left for all of us to see in this exhibit. Helen Ellis is truly a local WAG treasure. Today, Helen Ellis's name is more associated with the Westport Cultural Council. However, she was also a popular WAG artist, and her specialty there was wooden sculptures. These are two what they were called sailors' valentines. The sailors' valentines were brought home as gifts the sailors brought to their families and friends at home. This is one of our modern artists who unfortunately recently passed, Barbara Chadwick. They're actually beautiful, so shells and scrimshaw-like picture all put together. There's hundreds and hundreds of different shells as part of this. This one up here too, the middle picture was done by Heidi Hallemeyer. So she had Heidi paint the two little girls at the beach and then did kind of a modernist version of a sailor's valentine with lots of different shells from the beach locally. And that again is what it's all about. It's the community coming to help us bring this all together and celebrate the years of WAG and going into the future as well. There certainly has been many, many years of creativity here. You see a lot of commonalities, how they were all part of one big whole for the community. It astounds me. That little core group was able to build into what we are today, over 250 members strong. The spirit and goal really carries through into today and into our future, building upon the community, enjoying each other's company, learning different techniques and enhancing their own skills, and being able to teach others. I hope the four women would be proud of us today, and I think that they would want it to go into the future.
You look at all the incredible art in this show, so many people who've learned different techniques, and you look at the artifacts and you see all the things that this group has done over the years, you might say, wow, how did they do that? And it's really, really important to understand that from day one, this has been 100% a volunteer organization. Every gallery sitter who opened the door and sat in the gallery so people could come see, everybody who put fresh flowers every day, everybody who worked on writing the newsletter or worked on writing the web page, everybody who showed up for board meetings and sat through long, not always interesting conversations to make things keep going. All these things are done by volunteers.
Being a member of WAG is a wonderful opportunity for lots of different people to come together. So one of the most important things that the art group does is give out scholarships to high school seniors who plan on a visual arts career. It's really protecting history for the future. So we're hoping to educate the future generation. And we do a lot with other education, and we have what's called Kids Camp, which is probably one of the most popular classes that we have. Kids come in, they learn different things of art, they create every day, and they have a nice show at the end. We're very honored to have a painting from our current president, Sharon Connors, who has led the organization to the 70th anniversary. She made a note to say in the brochure how grateful we all are for those that helped shape the Westport Art Group into what it is today. Our founders, on whose shoulders we stand, created this organization for the love of art and a commitment to serve the community. Sharon often says how appreciative she is of every contribution to WAG and how much we count on all our volunteers and on all of us to uphold the commitment to the visual arts in the future.